was trying to record while I was driving, and the thing is way too bumpy. Way too bumpy for that. So that didn't happen. But I figured I would just wait until I got home, and then it would be... I gotta bust out of this jacket. I feel like a fat guy in a little coat. It's like you can't wear a hoodie with this raincoat. It's too tight. This is just a light layer over another light layer. There we go. Now I can breathe. But I do get compliments on that rain jacket all the time. I mean, how can you not? And look at the inside. It's a UK brand. Let's see, what is it? Gelbert. UK 14, US size 10. Asia extra large. So I'd be big. I'd be big in Asia. We all. Can you imagine white Americans going to Asia? Fucking behemoths. Anyway, I guess that could be a good segue into part one of what I want to talk about. I had written this on Instagram, but I haven't talked about it yet with my voice. But the other day I was just having like a really rough go. Like I was just in it. I was just in the throes of my misery. I haven't washed my face or brushed my teeth. I just got in the car and went and got coffees for me and David. And David's not going to get his coffee for like another hour. But that's okay. He's sleeping. He'll probably be sleeping for at least another hour. It's just one of those days. It's a rainy day. But anyway, I was in the throes of it a couple days ago, and I just felt miserable. Like I was like, oh my God, I am so fat and ugly. Like, what can I do? How can I like fix this? How can I make this right? What's wrong with me? Like, why can't I get it right? You know, all this stuff. And I've been eating like shit and just feeling like shit. And it's just like a cycle, you know? You feel like shit, you eat like shit, and you feel like shit again for eating like shit, and you like emotionally feel like shit, and you physically feel like shit. So that's where I was at. And my mom wanted to go to Michael's to get something, I don't know. And I told her the day before, I was like, oh, okay, I'll bring you tomorrow. And then that tomorrow came, and I didn't want to bring her. I didn't want to go anywhere. All I wanted to do was just lay in bed. But that's not what I did. Instead, I cleaned out all of my clothes and got rid of a ton of things that I haven't worn in years, that I'd still been holding on to for someday maybe. And it's not even like a size thing. Like it's just like I'm not gonna wear this thing, you know? So that didn't like trigger my ugly and my fat response. I was just in it. So anyway, I cleaned up all my clothes and like my side of the room, whatever that means. I feel like I take ownership of everything, but you know, David has his stuff where he keeps his stuff, and we did end up he went through his closet later, and then his process is so funny for getting rid of stuff. I don't know if we filmed it. I wanted to call it Smash or Pass, but we were calling it like Thrift or Keep, which is so PG, but Smash or Pass I thought was funnier, but whatever. So he goes through a whole emotional process when deciding. Like, I'm like, it's like, like if I'm like, it's gone. Like, I don't even, but he's like trying it on and make sure that he really doesn't like it. And he's not sure if he doesn't like it yet, because like he spent a lot of money on it a long time ago. Even though it has holes in it, it costs a lot of money at the time. So should he keep it? And there's this whole process. It's very deep and intricate, which is very revealing for how he does life. And I am so snappy. Like, I'm just like, no. And then I think I more often will have like regrets about things. Not really. Like, this is clothing. Or I'll have to go back through the bag and be like, you know what? Actually, I do want to keep that. But like, he would never have that experience. He would have already felt through keeping it or not keeping it. And he would never have to go back, rummage through the bag before he brings it to the donation center. Like, that's not, no. That would never happen. But for me, oh yeah. I'm like, wait, you know what? Actually, because when I get in those modes and I'm just like, no, let's get rid of fucking everything. And I do. And then I do hold on to stuff for sentimental value, but like I have our first like t-shirts from the Second Paradigm and our first sweatshirts that we ever made and all that stuff. But They're like buried in a, this is still too light for me. I asked them to do half the amount of cream and half the amount of sugar-free vanilla, which I'm also trying to wean myself off of sugar-free vanilla because it's not even real vanilla, first of all. It's like made from plastic. So there's that. And I have my own vanilla bean extract that is fucking delicious, but it doesn't hook like the maltodextrin does, you know? It's like it doesn't satiate. Even if I try to use monk fruit or a healthy alternative, it's like, no. I want the shittiest shit for you, and I love it. So anyway, moving on. I got rid of a ton of clothes. Why am I saying this? Oh, I was up in my room. I didn't want to bring my mom to Michael's. Nick, if you're writing this story down, I am sorry. It is all over the place. You need to go back to that other little drawing that you started when I was talking about feeling fat and ugly. Okay. If you don't know Nick, check out Nick Nevada on YouTube, on Instagram. You'll find him. He makes awesome cartoons, comics, animations, videos. He's fabulous. So, and sometimes he'll listen to these videos and draw them out. And it's like it's so crazy to see my mind on paper because it is unhinged. And I go in circles. I talk in circles. It's just it's my jam. It's my jam. And I don't have a point. I don't always have a point. I just trust that you'll get whatever you need to get out of it. Like, my job isn't make it a point. I'm not a teacher. I'm not an educator. Not in traditional ways. This is what we're doing here. We're just, you're listening to my story about how I'm fat and ugly. Okay? That's what we're doing right now. So I'm like, Mom, I don't think I want to go to Michael's today. And she's like, oh, you know. I'm like, I don't have it in me. And then I was gonna I tested the waters because I wanted to see what would happen if I said this, which I knew I was walking into like a landmine, but I wanted to just see because I was like, I don't know. I've just been having a day. Like, I just feel really fat and ugly, and like, I just want to be by myself. And then she goes, oh, you are not ugly. Fat, yes. Ugly? No. Oh my gosh. David doesn't think you're fat and ugly. And I was like, yeah, I know, Mom. She's like, and I said, but so you think I'm fat? And she's like, well, and I was like, so what does that make you? You're bigger than me, which is not usually, I don't usually go there because it's fucking rude and mean. And because, albeit I am not typically rude and mean, although I may come across that way on social media, I am not. And then she's like, well, the difference is I've completely accepted it. And I was like, no shot, by the way. And I just kind of laughed. And I was like, Mom, that was really mean. And she's like, well, what do you don't want me to tell you the truth? What am I supposed to say? And I was like, well, not that. I was like, I'm not fishing for a compliment. I was just telling you what I was feeling earlier. And she said, well, you spend too much time in that room. And I was like, Mom, I was cleaning. And she goes, oh, you were? And I was like, yeah, Mom. Like, she thinks I'm just like wallowing up in my bedroom like a fucking teenager or something, like I did in my teenage years. So it was just interesting because in that moment when she was like, oh, you are not ugly, fat. Yeah. Who says that with a straight face? But in that moment, I was like, this is where that fucking comes from. This is where that little voice in my head comes from. This is where that fucking bitch-ass motherfucker demon darkness bullshit comes from. I fucking spawned out of that woman. Not her vajay, but because she had a fucking C-section. But I fucking spawned out of her. Like, I imagine I picked up on some of this little demon specks. That might be a good animation. Specks of demons. I don't know. Nick, you're in my head. Okay. So that happened. Prior to that, David came upstairs and he was like, what's the matter? And I was like, nothing. Obviously I was like curled up on my side back to him. I was like, nothing. He's like, okay, obviously something's going on. I was like, I just feel so fat and ugly. And then I was like, I'm never gonna get pregnant. Like, you know, it was a spiral. It was just a fucking spiral. And then he said something that was like really loving and reassuring, but like, you know, when you're in that mode, and especially if you're a woman, you take that shit and you twist it. And I don't even know, he said like, oh, I don't even know. He said something really nice and encouraging, but the way I interpreted it was, you need to get rid of this, otherwise you're never going to be able to get pregnant. You need to get rid of this, like, bullshit. But that's not what he said at all. And then he was like flabbergasted that I took it the way that I did. And he was like, what? That is not what I said. Like, yes, it is. I heard the subtext. Anyway, I was a mess. I was a big mess. So I talked it all out with David, and then I went and talked to my mom after. And it was, I did feel better when I went to talk to my mom. I would never talk to my mom if I didn't feel better. Fuck no. I know that by now. Like, when you're in your pit of whatever you're in around her, you do not say anything. No. So anyway, so then it was helpful, because then I got to see clearly where that thing spawned from. Because I mean, she has so many dark entities in her, and she's identified with them, and she's openly admitted she doesn't want to get rid of them. So, like, you know, I see them. I see the shift in her eyes. I see the change. I see the voice tone change. Like, you know, I can hear it. And you either think I'm crazy or you get it, you know? It's not just like narcissism. Like, it's so much more than that. We need to acknowledge the psychic phenomenon and the actual dark beings that fuck with people here. But she doesn't want to get rid of them. I asked her, you know, I've talked about this in the past, but anyway, she likes them. She doesn't know who she'd be without them. That's the quote. Them. And I'll like make fun and say stuff like, oh, the voices in your head. And she's like, yeah. Like, yeah, I know they're there. I know they're there. I have like 18 million moms and none of them are the real one. Yikes. So that was going on the other day. And then I've been thinking, because I'm like, man, there's like, this started somewhere, you know, like obviously I can go like way back and go into like body image stuff, and like that's a whole thing. But there's something that like shifted within me within the last, I don't even know, like 6 months, right? Or whatever. So I had a miscarriage last fall. I honestly don't remember the month, which is crazy because I feel like I'm neurotic about time, but I don't remember it, which is telling, I think, in like a trauma sense. I think the word trauma is totally overutilized and like made to be it's like everybody talks about their trauma, you know, and then it's like, who cares? Like, you know, it's like we all have trauma. I don't know. It's weird. But I think maybe that's where where the pinhole where it got in was during the miscarriage, and my like hormones had changed, and I felt like on top of the world. When I was pregnant for those like 6 weeks, I really was like, why isn't every single woman pregnant right now? Like every single woman needs to experience this euphoria, because this shit is fucking awesome. Like, no wonder the fucking feminist movement got all the women in the workplace and all the things. I'm like, no, y'all been tricked. We have been tricked. Because that shit I get why women have like 8, 10, 15 fucking babies. Why? Oh my God, the feeling is like incredible. So I was pregnant. I had the miscarriage. Again, it was in the fall. And the only reason why I really remember it was in the fall is because I got into a spat while I was bleeding. I had a gigundo pad on, my nighttime pads, you know, the big honking like boats. I had one of those on while I was in an HOA meeting. And one of the girls that is just, she hates me. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know, on Close Friends, I do, you know, the deets. Being.Miriam on Instagram, if you don't already know. And then if you're like, hey, I found you on YouTube, can I be your close friend? I want to know these stories. I'll think about it, and then maybe I'll add you. But you have to have the courage first to ask me, which is, I don't know, I feel like that's a hard ask. I wouldn't DM somebody and be like, hey, can I be on your close friends list? I feel like needy and weird. So, I don't know. But you have to do it, because I'm not going to add you otherwise. So, so anyway, this girl hates me. She still, to this day, every time she sees me, flips me off. I'm pointing because she lives right there. Every time she sees me, she flips me off. And I think it's a me thing, because like, no matter like whether I'm with neighbor Sue or whether I'm with the like other kid, she flips me off. And I don't think it's just us. I don't know that she would just flip off Sue, the flower lady, if I wasn't there. I don't know. Like, it's very personal, and she still has a grudge against me. And I did pray, and this isn't something I usually do, but I did pray that she meet God. And I actually prayed for that while she was losing her shit in the HOA meeting. And the reason why I went to the HOA meeting is I felt as though it was really important to go, because this is when we were deciding on our new property management company. And I didn't want to make the wrong decision. And it was very clear that there was a right decision. And that set her off. And I talked about like being informed, and that pissed her off. And then she like berated me and said like, I can't do anything without David. And I was like, you're fucking fat and single, or whatever the fuck you are. I don't know. Like, you don't know what true partnership is. Like, yes, we do things together. Like, it's great. Like, don't you want that? Like, fuck you. But anyway, I told her she was a psycho. But anyway, she's going nuts at the HOA meeting. And I'm just bleeding. So much blood. And some people in the meeting knew that I was having a miscarriage, and I started crying. Obviously, I'm emotional. I'm emotional anyway. And then she starts texting someone and reading out loud what she's texting, whoever she's texting, her friends that probably live here, honestly. And then she's like, oh God, now she's crying. And like, she just was scoffing and texting, and you know, she's got her fucking Gatorade on the table and like 8 bajillion keys that like clunk down in a big chunk. And, you know, just the epitome of like light and radiance and health and beauty. And no, none of that actually. So anyway, having the miscarriage in the fall, and that's why I remember, because that's when we switched property management companies, but I don't remember the date or anything like that. I'm sure I could go back and look. And then I turned 40 in December, so a couple months later. And I was just in this like spiral, I think. Like, and also like seeing my mom more for what she is, and like untangling from her. And like, I had done a lot of untangling from her prior to that, but it's like there was still more, which felt crazy. But there was, because I was like bringing her to all her doctor's appointments and bringing her everywhere she wanted to go for everything, bringing her to the senior center, picking her up, grocery shopping, going with her. Like, in May, she had a second stroke. So she lost her ability to drive, because that foot just does not lift. Like, it's like, I mean, I told her, if you want to drive, like, go for it. I mean, you're going to risk other people's lives and your own, but like, you're an adult, whatever. But she doesn't feel like it's safe to drive, which is good. Cause it's not. And I don't think it was safe for her to drive with the first stroke, but whatever. So I had the miscarriage. So I was still driving her everywhere, but I could feel that there was more to do, you know, like it was wearing on me, because it's not like she's like fun to go out with. She's not like fun or like positive or smiley. She is in front of other people in order to garner social credit, and to like keep that perceived image up. But like, I mean, if she was just sitting here in the car and she didn't know the camera was recording, like, just nothing. Like, there's nothing there. There's no conversation. She's not interested in anything in my life. Any things that I am interested in, like pottery. I started taking a pottery class. I told her that I wanted to get a wheel. This was years ago, a couple years ago. I was like, oh, I really want to get a pottery wheel. I think I would love pottery. And she said, you can slap that shit around when I'm dead. I was like, very supportive, very supportive. I was like, oh yeah, this is my mom. This is what I grew up with. And I talked to neighbor Sue, and I was like, you know, told her about pottery, and she's like, what? She's like, yes, you should do that, Miriam. Try it, explore it, see if you like it. Like, why not? You know, like, she thought it was crazy to not be supportive of the things that I was interested in. So that's been helpful. Neighbor Sue has been very helpful in my journey of healing my relationship with my mom, healing myself, really, and not worrying about what the dynamic with my mom looks like, or if it changes, or if she's never gonna change. She told me point blank, she's never gonna change. The other day, and now I'm going off on another tangent, but the other day, I can't even remember how it started, but it was something about Trump. And I was like, oh, was it the Vatican? Hold on, let me see if I can get it. You know what? I can't actually remember. But neighbor Sue, she's going to Italy, and she was saying how people really like don't like Trump in other countries. Like when she went to Ireland, you know, they were all bad mouthing Trump, and they were like, how can you live there? Like, nah, 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 nah. And it's in my head, I'm thinking, well, it depends what like media you're consuming. Like if you're consuming left-wing media, you're going to be brainwashed in this direction. If you're consuming right-wing media, you're going to be brainwashed in the other direction. Like it's a brainwashing thing. It's not like nothing's real. Like this is all made up. Like all of politics is like genuinely theater. They're all actors, which is really hard for people to wrap their head around, but it's not real. And the fact that we participate in it and like talk about it at the water cooler, it's like we're LARPing. We're role playing. We might as well be in GTA. Like it's GTA 6 coming out next summer. It's true. It's true. But it's like, it's that, you know, Grand Theft Auto, for those of you that don't know. It's a role playing game where you steal cars and you like are a sexy prostitute, or you're whatever the fuck you want to be. But like that's the same thing that people are doing when they talk about politics. It's exactly the same. It's like you're reading the collective script and you're saying the talking points that were given to you by the shiny rectangle or the floppy newspaper. The like crispy newspaper. I don't know what's a good way to describe newspaper. Crinkly newspaper. They're not original. They're not your own thoughts. There's no fucking way. Because they're all the same. They're all the same, and they're siloed. And depending on which thing you plug into, you have the appropriate thoughts for that particular silo, for that particular archetypal prison. Archetypes are prisons. Don't be a fucking archetype. Be your goddamn self everywhere, all the time, as much as fucking possible. Please, for the love of God, don't be an archetype. I hate archetypal shit. I think it's bullshit. Anyway. People love archetypes, and I just want to shit on it out the gate real quick, just so you know. It's bad. It's like, it's a prison. Why would you confine yourself to an archetypal prison? Why would you want to be like, I'm the queen archetype? Why? No, you're not. You're not a fucking queen. You're a goddamn bitch is what you are. And you're trying to get away with being a lazy piece of shit. And you're just like, oh, I'm in my queen era where everything just comes to me. It's like, oh, get over yourself. Get over yourself. Talking to someone specific. Okay. I don't know why I'm so angry and so filled with rage. Can't imagine why. It's place is so fucked up and everyone's so retarded. How can you not be? Once you see it, it's like, fuck, am I the only one? Am I the only one that sees this? Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I am. Okay, great. Happy to be here. Happy to fucking be here. Well, everyone's just like, dumbed down. Okay. Pottery. Slap that shit around when I'm dead. Getting pregnant, having the miscarriage. So many things. But it felt like my health took like this really deep downward spiral. And I think it does that when it needs to do that. And it's not a BFD. We want to rip ourselves apart and like be on track and eat healthy and count our macros and do whatever the fuck people do. I don't even know. But there's like seasons of life where like the priority is to feel through the feeling of having a miscarriage. And like, I don't feel like it didn't feel like there was a soul in a body. It felt very, very physical. Like there was no, I did write a piece. You will never find it. This is nowhere to be found. I've actually removed it. But I did write a piece on Substack. I do have a Substack that I've never talked about. And I wrote a piece like to her, with her. I definitely felt like I was having a girl. Like there was no doubt in my mind. Her name was Claire and that whole thing. But when I was writing it, I was like, something's not right. Like there was like, something was like leaving, like as I was writing it. And shortly after that, I ended up bleeding and bleeding and bleeding and bleeding and bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. It's crazy how much blood. Like, it's like, what? How am I still alive? This is just like globs of blood just plopping out. Graphic, I know, but it's the truth. So I could, like, something had shifted. And then, like, you know, my hormones shifted back and my body's trying to like get back to, then my period was off, which fucked me up because I am so synced with like the moon and my period. Like that has just been my thing. Like it's what it is. Like I feel like I know who I am. I know where I'm at. Like having your period every month, like clockwork on like the third Wednesday, like every 28 days, like it's like, it like grounds you into reality. Like, you know who you are and where you are. And you know, when you look in the mirror and you're like, ooh, I'm kind of ugly. It's like, oh, cause I'm going to bleed tomorrow. You know, like our face, there's something that physiologically happens to us where we look in the mirror and we see ourselves as ugly. There's something that happens there. I don't know what it is, but there's something that happens before our period. And I've had like a really healthy cycle. You know, my cramps used to be a thing and they're not anymore. They haven't been for years. I attribute a lot of that actually to TRS and detoxing the heavy metals. That was a big piece of it. I don't take TRS regularly anymore. But I don't have, and I take red clover now, which tincture I make. I'll put all the links in the description. God, me doing that seems like the last thing I would do, but maybe I'll say, David, can you help me put the links in? That's exactly how I'll say it too. Hey, David. Oh no, here comes my neighbor. I don't want her to see me. Oh God, she's so fucking annoying. Oh, damn it. Okay. So I'm just going to say I'm on a call if she tries to talk to me. But anyway. Oh no, she's too oblivious. Oh fuck. Keep going. Okay, good. Oh, good. Okay. She's so annoying. She's one of those neighbors. I'm going off on another tangent. She's one of those neighbors where she's like, there's this wrong, and there's trash over here, and there's this over here, and this needs to be cleaned up, and this wasn't done. What's that doing over there? So next time she talks to me, I'm going to say, hey, I need you to say 2 positive things about the property before you bring me any complaints. And she'll break. Her brain will break. And she's a psychologist. She's a psychologist. Yeah. Can't stand her. So my hormones were fucked. I turned 40. Not that, like, I don't think that has anything to do with it. You know, the age is just a construct and blah, 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 whatever people say. But I mean, we are aging. Like, we do need, like, look at these wrinkles and lines on my forehead. Like, they're here to stay, by the way. I'm not doing any of the things to get rid of them. I can't imagine being expressionless. That seems like my worst nightmare, honestly. But some people want that. That's fucking crazy to me. Okay. So anyway, where was I going? Where are we going? Just changing. My body is just changing and I'm eating like shit. So when I got pregnant, I had been on carnivore for like 500 days. I'd been eating exclusively carnivore. There were like moments where I had a slice of birthday cake at the lifeguard's birthday party, you know, and it was so much sugar because I hadn't had sugar in like 500 days, almost 500. And other than I didn't give up my artificial sweetener, you know, so I guess I still had some remnants of sugar, but the carnivore really, I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But then when I got pregnant, I had all these crazy fucking cravings that were not carnivore. It was mostly ice cream. Like, all I wanted was ice cream. And that's all I ate, basically. And then that's it. And then I really haven't. I've been like teetering on getting back into carnivore. But this is where I wanted to, this is, I guess, the teaching or the lesson of it is like, it was more important for me to just be unhinged with my eating and just eat whatever the fuck, just anything. And you know what? Whatever the fuck is just the standard American diet, and it's fine. Like, it's fine. It's not fine, but it's fine. If you know what I mean. Like, it's like pizza and French fries and ice cream and whatever. Like, whatever. It was more important for me to be in that kind of like muted, numbed out, zombie-like state, and then to be able to feel through all the shit that I've needed to feel through, especially around my mom, because this untangling has not been easy, like, at all. And when I suggested that, like, Mom, well, when I set the boundary, I guess, I feel like that word's overused too, but when I said, I'm not giving you rides anymore, like, you need to do this. You need to figure it out. She pitched a fit. She pitched a fucking fit. And then she figured the only solution was that she could take the senior bus to the senior center on Thursdays and back. But turns out the senior bus goes everywhere and anywhere and like in all these surrounding towns. Like, she can go anywhere. Like it even goes into Boston. It's like 75 cents or something, $2 maybe $2, but it might even be free because she's old. I don't know, the senior discount. So she pitched a fit and she thought she could only get to the senior center. So then she relied on her neighbor to give her rides everywhere. And our neighbor Kathy was simultaneously having this woman live with her that said she was going to be there until December. And it was supposed to be like a 2-week stint, but this woman lost her house in Florida to a sinkhole, or like 2 months maybe, I don't know, but not till December. So anyway, so, you know, my neighbor Sue was like, oh, you should probably warn Kathy about your mom. And I was like, no, like, I'm just going to let it play out. Like, Kathy's a grown-ass woman. She can say no to my mom, but she obviously can't say no. So she was bringing my mom to her doctor's appointments, and who knows how my mom spun it, you know, and made me the bad guy. I'm sure she had to make me the bad guy. But turns out these buses can bring my mom to her doctor's appointments and all of that stuff. Well, this is boring. Nobody fucking cares. Change it up, Miriam. Make it more entertaining. You're losing them. The retention is just dropping. Nobody cares about a fucking old lady taking a senior bus. You don't give a shit about that, and I don't blame you. But this was about like giving myself more space, and not because it takes a lot of time to drive somebody's ass somewhere and then wait for them. You go into the waiting room, and then we're going in places that I just vehemently despise, like a fucking cardiologist doctor's office. And it's like prescription, amlodipine. Here's this one. Here's this. Try this new one. And then, you know, we go there and there's a fucking guy that comes out with it's closed for lunch. And if, you know, you get there early, you wait in the waiting room. And then, of course, during the lunch hour, the fucking sales rep from Big Pharma comes in and he walks out with his little briefcase. And, you know, he gave the spiel, and this is the latest new thing that we have that treats the and these are the side effects. Death. Why don't they just admit that, you know, a shortened lifespan. We are going to shorten your lifespan. So anyway, I hate those places. I hate them. And then they always have the news on. The news. It's always, it's like tragic, and there was a car crash, and like a child died. It's like, fuck, I don't want to listen to this. What is this shit? And everyone's just like locked in, just watching it. Like, you guys, this is fucking nuts. And it's like one tick, 2 ticks too loud on the volume button, you know, and I'm just like, I want to shut off. Shut it off. I don't want it on. Why is this on? I don't want to listen to this. Be subjected to this. So I just get more and more angry. Again, back to my liver. This is great. I can't fucking stand it. So it's good. It's good that I'm not driving her to I'm just noticing neighbors leaving. I wonder if I've wondered. Okay, so there's a couple J-dubs that live around us, Jehovah's Witnesses. And I'm wondering, I've always wondered if this other couple is a Jehovah's Witness, if they are Jehovah's Witnesses. They kind of give the vibe, but they also give the vibe of like quiet and shy. They're always really friendly and smile and wave at me. But one Jehovah's Witness lady just left. And today's Saturday. I think they do something on Saturdays. And then the other J-dub guy, who's like a handyman, he's in his van. He's about to leave. And then the quiet guy, he's also in his car. He's about to leave. So I'm just like, yeah, it's just a little interesting, the timing that they're all leaving, because I wonder if they go to the same church. But then these two didn't say anything to each other. I don't know. I'm just trying to connect dots. I'll just have to ask. Just feel bold one day and say, hey, are you guys Jehovah's Witnesses? They'll either be like very offended or very flattered. And if they're flattered, then they're going to talk to me about the way, the truth. They're going to talk to me about the truth and Jehovah. Oh God, I can't. One lady already did that. And I was like, I'm really sorry, but I have to go. I know it's cool, but it's like, it's not for me. Which just means death in their mind. Complete demise. Okay. So there's times in our life when health isn't the priority and it doesn't really fucking matter, and you're going to be okay, and you're not going to be this fat oompa loompa, ugly fat ogre forever. Like, it's just, and I've said this, like, when I have talked to people and they've like, Miriam, my weight, and oh my God, I've gained so much weight and I don't know what to do, and I'm like, yeah, and when it's time for it to come off, it'll just melt right off. And that's what I say every time. And then they're like, no, it won't. Like, I have to do it. I'm like, and they don't believe me. And then sure enough, however many years later or whatever, they come back and they're like, oh my God, Miriam, you're totally right. It just started melting off. Like, I'm like, yeah, I know. I wouldn't have said it if I thought I was fucking wrong. Hello? Have we met? When I say things, I say them because I think I'm right, not because I think I'm wrong. The fuck? No kidding. No shit. So anyway, I know I'm very humble, I know. But seriously, doesn't everyone operate that way? Like, I don't think that's that ridiculous of a thought. Like, to tell me that I'm right, it's like, yeah, Like, don't you say things too when you think you're right about them? That's why you say them. You wouldn't say them if you thought you were wrong. You wouldn't say something to someone if you thought it was wrong. Why would you do that? That doesn't even make any fucking sense. So anyway, and when it's time, it's time. And I always say that, and it's the fucking truth. Again, here we are. J-dubs, you want the truth? That is the truth. When it's time, okay? We could talk about the truth. The, 2 capital T's, the truth. That's how they roll, with the truth. But when it's time, it's time. So the thing, and there's a sequence to things, and God prioritizes things in a way that you wouldn't prioritize. Because if I was feeling great about my health and my body and all of that stuff, I wouldn't be in the wallow. And it's not bad to be in the wallow. I was in the wallow of my mom and how to untangle from her. I know I keep using the word untangle, but that's the only way I see it. Like, it's like we were so enmeshed, and I became such a caretaker, and I was doing everything. And when we first got here, I was cooking all the meals, everything. I was cooking, I was cleaning, I was doing all the dishes. I was being Susie homemaker, and she was fine with it. Like, she would thrive in an assisted living nursing home type environment where someone just caters to her all the time. All her meals are made, everything's done. Someone comes in and says, Mary, here's your meds. She would love it. She would fucking love it. She'd win at every bingo night. She always wins those fucking games. Don't ask me how. It happens every time. Every time she plays bingo or any sort of game, she always wins and comes home with the prize. It's happened in rehab. It's happened at the senior center. Like, it's like, just happens. So I became the assisted living facility. Hi, welcome to Miriam's Assisted Living. And I was doing everything for her. And then it slowly tapered off. And carnivore was a big part of that because she wasn't going to eat carnivore. So then I was no longer going to cook for her. So then she had to step up and start cooking for herself again. And just all of these like little micro changes through this whole experience of living here have been helpful but hard. And the priority isn't always what I look like or what I feel like or what I'm eating. Like, sometimes it's here to eat so much fucking ice cream that you just zone out into a vegetable and watch Netflix, and like you just let the like deep feeling of like ick just roll through. And there's no other way to access that feeling other than ice cream. Like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And if you're doing it, chances are you've been guided to do it. Like, you wouldn't, at this point in the intuitive journey, you're integrated, you check in, you know what's here, you know what's not here. You get guidance, and it's like, oh yeah, get the mudslide till, I call it Tillamook. I know I add an extra syllable. Where's the syllable? Tillanook, whatever the fuck. You know what I'm talking about. Mudslide, that shit. I mean, right now it doesn't sound appealing, but when I'm in that place, that is what I want. Are we also infested with parasites? Yeah. Are we also impacted by just everything we've been poisoned with? Yeah. It's hard here. It is very challenging to be a good little human and do everything right and check all the boxes and be positive polypants. That's just not going to happen. New agers and spiritual fucking people will tell you otherwise. And I'm here to tell you, just be real. Be whatever is real for you. Even if it's real for a microsecond and you just need to get it out. Good. Do it. Next. Moving on. So I always feel so much better after I write, after I create something, after I do one of these videos. I don't feel the way that I'm feeling in this moment in the video. Afterwards, I feel better. I'm like, oh, fuck, okay, next. And then I move on to the next thing that's like fucking pissed me off. The next injustice. But I really am trying to cool my jets with my anger. Not in like an actual way, but I am checking it. I'm like, okay, so what if I slow down even more and care even less? That's kind of just where I'm at right now. And it's pretty nice, honestly. And I look at things and what the people are talking about and like the Pope, and I'm like, it's the same as Trump. It's the same as politics. It's the same as this is all a ruse. And I have no interest. I don't care. It doesn't impact me at all. Because like on average, if we're really real with ourselves, if we're actually really being like real humans with as much programming stripped out as possible, our lives are pretty boring and mundane, and there isn't really a lot of drama, and our lives are pretty simple. And that's a good thing. That is a very good thing, because you can see clearly in the simplicity. You can hear clearly. You know what's what. You know what's yours, what's not. You know what's here for you to do. You let go of the things that are irrelevant. It's like the whole idea of like being a minimalist, but like psychologically being a minimalist, like ideologically being a minimalist. Like it's just clear of clutter. It's clean. You check in and you get what you get. And if you get that it's here to eat ice cream, it's okay. And you can trust that. You don't need to hem and haw over it. And if you get a little pudgy, you get a little pudgy. You get a little stiff. You get a little sore. Your joints ache because of the shugs. That happens. Like, it's okay. And then like you feel your age and you feel where you are in time, and like it feels sad and devastating, and it's like, did I really amount to what I wanted to amount to? Like, I think about it, I'm like, man, I'm fucking 40. Did I even do anything? Like, fuck. But like, you don't access those feelings when you're feeling good, brainwashing yourself into positivity. No, you don't get there. Like, you get there through like eating ice cream. And having like dog shit dynamics with your own biological mother. You know, like that's how you get to those deeper feelings and those deeper places, and God moves you through them, and you end up seeing clearly, just like I did when I went and talked to her and I was like, Mom, I'm feeling fat and ugly. And I knew I was going into the lion's den. I knew I was walking into a landmine, and I wanted to, because I wanted to see what she would say. And I felt good enough in that moment that I could handle it. And whatever, it wasn't gonna hook in. So I've been like saying around the house, you know, I've been like, oh my God, you are beautiful, but you sure are fat. I just playing into it and poking at it. And she's still like, well, what did you want me to say? I'm like, nothing, Mom. I didn't want you to say anything. You didn't need to say anything. And then it's good too, because then even in that like little micro experience, it has me thinking like, okay, what would I say? Like if my daughter came to me and was like, oh, I am feeling, so, you know, my 40-year-old daughter came to me and was like, I'm just feeling fat and ugly. I would probably, I feel like I would commiserate. I'd be like, oh, I get it. Yeah, I just feel like I would just agree. I'd be like, oh my God, I've gone through so many like different sizes and iterations of life. Like, yeah, our body gets bigger, it gets smaller, it goes this way, it goes that way. Your boobs go down. Like, yeah, I feel like it would just be like an honest conversation. I would never say, oh yeah, you're fat. Fat, yes. Ugly, no. No, I wouldn't say that. Yeah, it's kind of, it's telling, because it like, there's a whole line of like, I can think back to like all the times my mom's critiqued my body. Like, oh, you're getting kind of big. You're getting pretty big now. And not like, you're growing up, you're going to be a big girl. Like, it was like, you know, when I went to college, and definitely I committed to those freshman 15, maybe 20. because I mean, it's just endless food everywhere, and ice cream, you know, soft serve. I had soft serve like every day after lunch for dessert, and then after dinner. You know, like, how was I not gonna pack on the freshman 45? But when I came home freshman year, she commented on my weight and how big I was getting, and it's just been like a constant through line. But anyway, I hope this is making sense in the ways that it's meant to make sense, or that it sort of makes sense in my head. Like, I think we just go through different iterations of life, and they don't need to mean that much. Because, like, I think, okay, here's another thing. Let me go on the carnivore thread for a minute. So, like, when you get into carnivore, it is fucking crazy. The people are fucking nuts, first of all. Love them. It's parasocial. I don't know a fucking single carnivore in IRL, okay? All our neighbors thought we were fucking crazy for doing it. We did it. They thought we were going to die of scurvy. Still here, not dead yet. The same neighbors that, like, take copious amounts of pills in the orange bottles. Anyway, so carnivore, right? You get into like the YouTube channels and you start watching like Homestead How, Carrie from Homestead How, Healing Humanity, Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Sean Baker, Dr. Who's that guy? Anthony Shafee. He's pretty good looking. His girlfriend wife thing, weird vibes. Very like sexual succubus energy. Real weird. She gives me the ick. He's a babe. Anyway, maybe I'm just jealous. No. Let's just relax a little more. We're gonna go over the hour mark, I think. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we'll keep it under an hour. It's very unlikely. But okay, so you get into the carnivore community, and then it's just kind of fucking nuts. And like, there's all this like, you don't use spices, and you can only use salt, and like, you know, Mikhaila Peterson, and like the Lion Diet, and it's only meat and salt, and like, it's just, and plants will kill you, and like, don't use any sort of spices at all. Like garlic bad, coffee bad. You know, it gets very like rule setty and like just kind of just fucking crazy. And then there's no room for like, it just gets culty, I guess. Which I guess it's like that with anything, right? Like any sort of like ideology or path or way, like the vegans are just as culty as the carnivores. I do think that the carnivores are more healthy for sure. I don't think you're meant to just survive off of plants. I've never understood that. I mean, I've talked about this before, but like I would have cravings for meat, and I had vegan friends and they did not understand what I was saying, and I did not understand how they didn't crave meat. Like I was like, wait, what do you mean? Like I crave it. No, they had no. So I'm a meat girl all the way. But like in those rule sets and in those ideologies, and you go into any of them, you go into the law of one, you go into whatever the fuck is out there, there's no room for what's actually real and what's already happening. Like I'm already eating a copious amount of ice cream, like during my pregnancy and post pregnancy, and eating pizza and just like falling off my health kick. And like, can that be okay? And like, there's just this like, when you tap into those collective pockets, the collective field, but specifically those pockets of thought, especially so carnivore, it's like bad and wrong, and I need to eat meat as soon as possible. But when I checked in with me, with God, using my own intuitive connection, checked in, I got like, no, eat the ice cream. Like, it's okay. You're going to be okay. And like, we need to trust our own knowing over the collective field, because the collective field is going to tell you to be a good little girl and a good little boy and a good little they. Yeah, it will. It'll tell you to be a good they too. Yeah. Another neighbor. This neighbor, I think, was the one that was getting the texts of me crying. That one. Pretty sure it was her. Anyway. But like, you check in with the collective field, and the collective field is going to tell you everything that you're doing wrong. The collective field is hijacked. It has been hijacked by darkness. And you can feel into the collective field, and it's what everybody else is already doing. And for some reason, there is like something inside of you, which I would call God, your intuition, your actual direct line to God, that like you can't do what the collective field is telling you to do. Like, I think of this guy that's sailing around the world, Oliver Sailing with Phoenix on Instagram. His name is Sailing with Phoenix. There's underscores in there. His name's Oliver. I started following him at $60,000 followers. And I sent him to my friend Sarah, and I was like, you need to marry a man like this. And he's like, hey, I'm just quitting my job. I work at a discount tire store, and I'm going to sail around the world with my cat. I'm going to liquidate my 401k, and this is what I'm doing. I'm quitting. I hate my fucking life. And then it took him about a year. He learned how to sail, and now he's doing just that. You can follow him. You can actually like follow his little dot in the middle of the ocean. He's using Starlink. And he is sailing from Oregon to Hawaii right now. And he has almost 1 million followers on Instagram, like that. And people are so inspired by him. There are like copious amounts of TikToks of people just absolutely inspired by him. And he is defying the collective field. He's defying the current hijacked collective field. He's doing what's here for him, and he's updating that collective field by showing people what's possible and then doing it. It's like that's it. Like, he is doing what he's supposed to be doing right now. That's all he wants to do for the rest of his life, is sail around with his cat. And he has a fly on board, which he's not, he hasn't let it out, because where would it go? He's in the middle of the ocean. So plus the fly. And it's cool. It's very cool. And I mean, that's how we update the collective field here. Like, this wasn't like a thing or like a marketing thing that he was trying to do. That he was like, oh, I'm gonna, not like that. It's like, he's just going to be himself and do what he feels is here for him, because all of this other shit is wrong. He tried it. He did it. He worked the Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, probably different hours than that, but it's a retail job, but for 11 years. And that's what we're here to do. Those of us that have clear access and can listen to our intuition, which is the voice of God, we're here to update that collective field and put new embodiments in there, not archetypal prisons, like actual true individual embodiments, your embodiment of you being you in the world, wherever you're at. If you're fat and ugly and eating ice cream, that's okay. If you feel old and decrepit and like you're going nowhere and you didn't amount to anything, that's okay too. It's gonna pass. But to feel the depths of those feelings and then to keep going anyway, and to know what you're getting is true. Because when you're in those pits, all of that energy can come in, and it will tell you exactly what you need to do to feel better, to do better, to have better, to look better. It'll give you a whole plethora of supplements to buy. Oh, if you just get this will help your hormones, and this is what you need to do. It's no. When I check in, I get nothing. The only thing that's here for me right now, and it's hit or miss, is taking red clover. I take red clover a little, like, yesterday I think I took it. Did I take it the day before? No. Did I take it the day before that? Maybe I took 2 squirts the day before that. I don't know. I just kind of take it when I feel called. And it's not a thing. It's not a regimented thing. It's not a rule set. It's just, I'm just going through the motions of my life, not dictated by anyone else or anyone in these shiny rectangles, but my life dictated by God. And trusting that that's accurate and that it's good and that it's enough and that I'm connected to it, and what I'm connected to is real, and I'm not berating myself and ripping myself to shreds except when I am. And then that happens too. But then you can get God will walk you out of that ripping yourself to shreds place as well. And it's okay to feel the depths of your feelings here. I mean, you look around, most people aren't. Most people don't go to those places. Most people don't want to acknowledge it. And like the fattest, ugliest people on the planet, they're not out there. If anything, they're in a bikini on Instagram. And I'm just like, oh my God, cover it up. I don't like this. This is too much. too much. I am not a body positivity person. No. I'm just like, you are a liability. You are a walking health risk. I feel like you're going to collapse in one of these weird ass bikini videos that, like, I don't know, that's a fetish. I know that's a fetish. Those really big ladies are a fetish. It's just like my 600-pound life, you know, like, fuck. How? No, we can't body positivity that. We need to be, well, we don't need to be anything. We don't need to be concerned about it at all. It doesn't fucking matter, is the truth. But that's the scoop. We've hit an hour. Maybe, I don't know if that's all I have to say, but I think the main, like, drilling home, one of the main points is that, like, you're in this, we call it a reality configuration. You're in a reality configuration and you're not going to be there forever. And it's there for right now and it's serving a purpose and it was ordained by God. And why? And if I know you like I think I know you, you're going to mine it for everything that it's worth. And that's how I feel like living with my mom. Like, it's like, this is just what it is. Like, I don't need to manifest my way out of here. I don't need to do any certain thing to get out of something. That's all manifestation is you don't like something and you want it to be different and you want it changed and you're a snotty little bitch. Manifestation isn't real and it's black magic. It is real and it's black magic. And I don't participate in it. I think it's vile. So me living here with my mom, like, it's just what it is right now. Like, let's acknowledge the reality that we're actually in and, like, what is here for me in all of this. And, like, sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes it's just nothing. And sometimes time just passes and it's just what it is. And I can see benefit to being here. I can see that we're safe. We're in a place. We're not paying rent. We're not paying for fucking anything. We're only paying for what we want. It's nice in those ways. It's bills she'd be paying whether she was living with us or not. Yes, the water bill and electricity is higher because there's 3 people instead of 1. Blah, blah, blah. I've offered to pay. She doesn't want it. She's just paying it. It's fine. The house is paid off. There's just the condo fee, which is retarded. Anyway, this is how you make a degenerate generation, is you put them in stack 'em, pack 'ems where nobody has to learn a goddamn thing about what's outside of their 4 walls or even inside. People don't even know how to change the handle on their fucking toilet. People don't know how to do it. They'll pay $200 for a plumber to come and change the handle on the toilet. You guys, really so dumbed down. We are dumbed down. So anyway, drives me nuts. I just think it's important that we acknowledge where we actually are and that we're not stuck. Like, we're not stuck in this place that's oh so bad. And when it's time for us to make a change, we will. And we don't need to make like a manic change. We don't need to blow up our life. We've already done that several times prior. Like, there's an actual like sequence of events and there's a timing, and you're gonna move when it's time to move, because when it's time, it's time. Truer words never spoken. And then you'll be in a different reality configuration and your life will look different. But like, you'll be inside of it. You yourself, as you, will be inside of a new reality configuration. Everything will be different around you, but yet somehow you'll feel like nothing's changed and you're still the same. It's fucking weird. Because David and I learned through all of our moves, when we lived in California, we lived in Tulum, we lived in Seattle, we lived in Denver, we lived in for a few months, we lived in Arizona for a few months, we lived in Texas, and now back in Massachusetts. Like, we still do all the same things. We like go to the local coffee shop, we check out what's there. We go to the local thrift stores, we check out what's there. Like we have our routines of things that we like to do, and we just do that wherever we are. So it doesn't really matter where you are. It's like, it's a very much like it sounds cheesy, I feel like, to say that it's an internal experience and it's about your relationship with God, but it is. And it is very internal, and you have grown through all of these iterations of your life. There's no way that you haven't. But you can see people that haven't grown and that are stuck in time, and that is a mind fuck. That is a mind fuck to me. Stuck in time in their like emotional intelligence, their maturity, like how they view the world, how deeply or not deeply they think. Like, I don't know, that's bizarro to me, but there are plenty of people that are stuck, and that's an ideal place. Like darkness would want you stuck. And the best way to keep you stuck is to just have you tethered to the collective field, and you just read that, and then you just stay where you are, and you never do what you came here to do. But the people at this point in the video that I'm talking to, you're not that, obviously. Those are all the people that first started viewing and then dropped off right away. They're like, oh, I'm stuck. I can't watch this. I like being stuck. She's going to say something that bothers me. I just know it. And they would be right. But there's like a slowness to life, and there's like actual rhythms. There's actual cycles. And things just take time. And that's okay. And I think when you get into the worlds of like spirituality and personal development and all that stuff, everything's like go, 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 like get. But like, for what? I'd rather like live at the pace of life, at the pace of God, at the pace of what's real, at the pace of my connection. And that's why I always talk about doing the dishes, you know? It's where I find God, is when I'm doing the dishes. It's slow, it's mundane. But there's something real there. And it's more real than what I find people talking about on the internet. And like, who cares about the new pope and the symbolism and the this and the that and whatever? I don't even know what the latest things are. The pope's kind of old news, I think, at this point. It's like, I'm not Catholic, I'm not religious, why do I give a shit about the pope? And aren't they the bad guys that do the bad stuff to the little boys, you know? Like, are we in the, what is it? All that stuff comes out, and then it's like, oh, but the Pope, we gotta celebrate the Pope and the smoke and the fucking, I don't know. It's so weird. It's literally a show. And these are rituals, and they're dark rituals. And it's not even about, like, you know how people talk about, like, where your attention goes, your energy flows, and they're harvesting our attention, and they're not harvesting shit, first of all. No. I think it's much more simple and not so like whatever that even means, harvesting. I think the pure fact that we'd be willing to spend so much time talking about something that is completely irrelevant for our lives is it's just enough for darkness to be like, all right, they're not going to do it. Like, you're not going to live your life. This person, we don't have to worry about them, because all they do is they talk about the truth or perspective on the MSM headlines, which we're feeding them. And we're also feeding them the truth or perspective. We've fed them everything. Every ounce of drip that they think that they got from, like, what's that company? Plantar? I don't know. The biometrics company. You know, Peter Thiel and all those people. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, we are going into this thing. We can be warned. We can raise a stink. We can cancel chemtrails, which we'll never do. Like, we can, like, do all of this stuff, but, like, are we actually doing our work here? Are we actually doing what God asked us to do? Because when I check in, all the guidance I get is, like, irrelevant. Don't do it. Not worth it. Has nothing to do with your life. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I kind of don't like it. I don't care about chemtrails. Like, yeah, it bothers me that they squirt across the sky a gazillion times. And then we end up with this weather where it's rained for like days on end. And we've had flooding and whatever the fuck. Like, I know this isn't natural. But like, I lost my train of thought because I was like, oh, I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube. But I don't think I will. I don't know. No, we wouldn't get kicked off. It would just be a strike. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I still need to talk freely. Otherwise, my whole feed is going to be jacked. And I won't be able to think straight. But, like, we're not here to petition. We're not here to, like, protest. Like, there's no way that I'm here to do that. My soul, as my soul in a body, that is not the best use of my soul here. Like, no shot. It just feels like soup. It's a predetermined groove. Like, you don't think that is already in the collective field? Like, of course, there's the pro and the anti. Like, that's already in there. And you're just going to click into one and then be the voice of the one thing that is already there. It's already there. It's already there to pull from. It's nothing unique. And then you just end up getting all confused, and it has nothing to do with your life's purpose. It has nothing to do with your mission. It has nothing to do with why God sent you here. Like, I feel like we're here for a much more mundane reason, but we're like addicted to wanting to, not even addicted, but there's like something inside of me that has always felt that I would do something that mattered, that I would do something big here, that I would be known, that I would be famous. I've always felt that way, and obviously never really wanted to say it because it sounds so egotistical, but there's something that can easily hook into that. And then, like, well, Miriam, these are the things you can do. You can become an anti this or a pro that, and then, you know, build your whole platform. And then you just become a puppet of whatever the script is that gets fed to you that's not ordained by God. But what I get through God is like, slow down, disconnect, none of this shit matters. Yes, God swears to me. I wouldn't believe that it was God if I didn't get swear words like, oh, fuck off with that shit. You know, that's what I get when I check in. If I didn't get messages like that, I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't. I'd be like, ugh, no. I don't get the like, oh, you're doing so great, Miriam, and like the unconditional love vibes. I don't really get that. I get more of like it's more of a poke in the right direction. It's just the translation for me. Yeah, I don't know. I just think people, they just don't end up doing what they're here to do. Yeah. And it's easy. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much from darkness to manipulate that. You sprinkle in a little fear about money, that's easy to derail someone off their path and get them to work a soul-sucking job for the rest of their lives. Or until like midlife, you know, when they like start thinking about things again. Like, oh, like I just wasted all my life working this stupid job I fucking hate. And then you live in a lifestyle where you like need to maintain it with like the cars and the house and all the things, the boats and the toys and how do you let all that go? Like, are we really going to downsize? Or, you know, I can't do that. Like, what about my membership at the country club? It's like, fuck. Do you even like those people? But it's really easy to imprison us because we're like willing participants in the enslavement. And we've been like bred to be that way. We've been bred to be good. And darkness has defined what good is. Not God. God hasn't defined what good is here. We would live in a completely different iteration of Earth if that was the case. I think there are people that are trying to do good, and they think that doing good is working their soul-sucking job, at least for the next 3 more years until they have enough in their 401k and enough vacation time, or and that they can da-da-da-da-da. Like, people think that they're doing good, but it's like, but you're defying your intuition every step of the way. How can you continue to do that? How can you continue to live with yourself while you're defying not only your intuition, but your intuition as the direct line to God? So therefore, you're defying God every step of the way by working your soul-sucking job that you know that you hate. Like, that's kind of weird. But that's the world we live in. And then you go out and you ask anybody and they're like, well, you know, so my plan is I'm just going to keep working for the next 3 years because then I'll have, and then everybody else is like, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, you want to do it, you don't just want to up and leave. I mean, you want to be responsible about it. I mean, you have a family and you have bills to pay and and they just reinforce the collective field because they're all just running on the same scripts. And then you talk to someone like me and I'm like, what if you just fucking quit tomorrow? Who fucking cares? Don't give 2 weeks. Why? Well, I have to give my 2 weeks. No, don't give 2 weeks. What if you don't? It's, well, you know, I don't want to burn any bridges, and I've been with this company for so long, and they've been so loyal to me. And Is that why you have zero soul left in your fucking eyes? And you're just, okay. So you know it's here to quit, but you're not going to. And you're getting to the point where now that you're just constantly, perpetually sick, and you're still not going to quit, even though it's here for you and you checked in, even though you can acknowledge that if you quit, you'd still be fine. Because God's not real in those moments, right? For people, like when it's time for them to quit their job or make the next big leap or do the next big thing, God's not real. Like, God immediately goes out the window. They're like, no, I can't do that because of this. And it's always money. Money is the easiest way to control a population. Hello, we're here. We're living in it. This whole place is controlled by money. And we are like fucking fiending little coyotes drooling, salivating for fat stacks of cash. It's ridiculous. It's a treat. It's a treat. A manipulative treat. Like what I do with Molly Cat when I want her to come out on the patio with me, I bring out treats and then she comes. It's a way I can control her to get outside. Yeah. It's the same thing darkness does with money and other things, but money is the biggest and easiest one. It's the easiest way to control people and get them to fall in line and to do what they're supposed to do. But again, good here has been defined by darkness. Good here isn't defined by God. If it was, we'd be living in a very different world. And is that okay? Is that okay that those of us that have eyes to see live in a world where good is defined by darkness, yet we follow a good that is defined by God, and we live inside of that all day, every day, to the best of our fucking ability? Do we slip up and spin out? Of course, because it's fucking hard here, because everyone else around us is living in the good defined by darkness. So of course it's fucking hard. It's hard to do. But do we do it? Yeah. Will we do anything else? No. Can we deviate from it? Not really. Have we tried? Yeah. And what happens? Nothing. It sucks. We don't like it. We can't do it. We can't play pretend. We know too much. We've seen too much. Our access is too good. We're too clear. So then, like, can that just be enough? Can it just be enough that we live our little mundane lives connected to God? Like, can that be enough for you? Miriam, for you? Can that be enough for me? Not always, honestly. Like, sometimes I get pissed and I'm like, why aren't things further? Like, why don't more people get this? Why don't more people talk like this? Like, what the fuck? Liver, anger. But like, can it be enough for me? If I play out like the rest of my life, can it be enough that I do these little rinky-dink videos in my car with no fucking microphone, no perfect setup? Can this be enough? And that I share what I need to share? And like, will I feel at the end of my life, will I have felt like I made a difference? And I honestly don't know. I'll have to report back from the other side, because I don't know. I think I have moments where I feel like this is enough and that this is good. And then I have moments where it doesn't even feel like it's scratching the surface. And like, why would God send me to this fucked up place? And like, why would I agree to come here? And like, how am I so like, I don't know, egotistical, arrogant, confident that like I could really make a change here? Like, that seems so out of place when everything is so dark and people are so lost. It seems ridiculous to think that I could make any sort of impact here. And then I'm like, well, you know what? I have. Like, the people that have worked with us for a very long time at the Second Paradigm, I mean, they've all changed and grown tremendously and are completely different than how they were when I met them. They're so much more grounded. They know who the fuck they are. There's no, I mean, yeah, they'll hem and haw a little bit, but it's not like it was. Like, it's not like that. It's just like, I don't know. And then it's like, nothing. I won't do anything until I get more clarity. I'm like, wow, cool. Perfect. Sounds, yeah, tracks. You know, like, it's so easy. And these conversations are so easy. And they're so enriching. And then I go out into the world and it's like, the depths are so shallow. That would be a really good poem. Oh, that's cool. I haven't written a poem in a long time. Shallow depths. Oh, I like that. Whew. Kind of punched me in my gut. That was a good one. I had this feeling or this thought. I'm going off on another thing. I know, we're like an hour and a half. We're going an hour and a half. When I first signed up for pottery class, I was like, oh, fuck, I'm going to be around a bunch of wokey dokes, you know? It didn't turn out that way. But in my head, I was like, oh, God. Because, you know, the artist community, it's like she, her in their bio and like the fucking trans flag and the gay flag. And it's all the things. And they got vaccinated and they support Ukraine. And, you know, it's like everything. Like, I'm so good. I'm so good. I want you to see that I am good. And I was just like fucking dreading it. And I was like, what would I say? Like, I was just playing it out in my head of like, what would I say to people? Like, if they were like, oh, did you see the latest? Like, oh, the tariffs and Trump, like, that's such a thing. Like, everyone loves talking about Trump's and the tariffs and the prices and how Trump's such a bad guy. And it's fine. It's fine. This is the demise of America. This is where we're at, you guys. It's the fall. We're here for the collapse. Spoiler alert. But like, even that's okay. Like, even though I don't care. Like, I can't care. And like, all these people care, but like, do they really care? Are they like pretending to care? Is it like a scripted care? Because like, you know, like, it's like, because this was fed to you and this is a thing to talk about. So I was trying to think of like what would we talked about at the pottery studio, and I really wasn't sure, but that was one of the things that was coming to mind. And then I was imagining what I would say to people. And I was kind of just saying something like that. Like, oh, I just think it's all made up. Like, I don't think any of it's real. And that would be enough to scramble their brain. Cause it's like, what do you mean it's not real? You know, it's like, of course it's real. It's real. I see it on TV. And these people are real. They're definitely not wearing masks, or they're not clones of each other. Or, you know, whatever. They're definitely not reptilians. I think there's a whole like subset of species here that are not human. Like, several different types, by the way. Just throwing that out there. It just feels that way. It feels like you're not human, you know, like, Whether we see them or interact with them, I'm not sure, but there's just this feeling like, oh, there's a lot of other things here that aren't this. So anyway, I get to the pottery studio, and it is a bunch of docile, shy, quiet, introverted women. And I was like, oh, never mind. Never mind. There's one girl in particular there, and I'm curious about her. She's a young girl, but I also think I'm the same age because I can't tell age, but I'm like, no, she's definitely younger than me. She's got to be. But like, there's something there, and I want to talk to her. I want to like ask her about her intuition. Like, it's like my sense is that she knows things that other people don't know, and she knows things before other people, and that's like a real thing in her life, but she doesn't talk about it. Like, she's definitely like observer. Yeah, there's something there, very, very light, like a little dimmed down. I wouldn't say bright, but light. Like, she's like a little dimmed. So if I don't say something next week, I'll probably say something the last week. I'll be like, hey, you should always trust your intuition because it's always right. And you already know that. And then that'll probably help her. And she'll remember it. And that'll be the end of it. It just seems like something like that. And then there's a woman in there who's older than me. Probably, she looks much older, but I don't think she's much older. But she looks a little haggard and just worn, weathered. And like very heady and like spazzy, and like she just fucking zips that fucking wheel, and like the pots are fucking like, she makes a fucking vase and it's like, it's all lopsided and it's a mess, and she's like, what do you think? I'm like, yeah, it's great. But it's like, she like makes it in 2 seconds. I don't know, and it's just a mess. And then she squishes it down. She's like, I don't like it. And you know, oh God. A little neurotic and manic for me. So it's funny to see that embodiment in an older body, a younger soul in an older body, and then to see the other girl in a younger body with an older soul. Like, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I just think that shit's cool. So. Whew. This is a big feed today. A lot to talk about, I guess. This is how it always goes though, right? I didn't think I had anything, and then like a zillion things. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see like how things go like at the end, you know, when my time here is said and done. It'll be interesting to see what I did in that like final life review moment, those final moments. I could see myself in this moment. I could see myself like being like, oh, I wish I let go of things sooner. Because I get like a dog with a bone, you know, and I'm just fucking like gnawing on it, barking at it, like fucking pissed. I can see that there's like, and that's starting to happen just naturally through time. It's not even like that big of a deal. It's not like some technique I'm trying to do. I'm just noticing like where it's like the holding on to the headlines, like the MSM headlines or whatever, trying to like make sense of them or make sense of the symbolism. And when I check in about any of it, it's like, you know what? It's darker here than I even know. And then these people know. And then these people are just symbolism revealers. Like, that's their life work. Like, that sucks. That's not their life's work, by the way. God would never, that doesn't even make sense. I could see people doing it for a period of time, but like, becomes people's whole identity. Is talking about all this stuff here. but it doesn't really go anywhere. Like it's very like masturbatory. And I think I've said this before. Like it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't make anything. No babies made. It's just, there's no new ideas from it. Like it's just, I don't know, like self-inflicted slowness. And again, it's like darkness already has a groove for that. Like there's plenty of room for people to just unpack their symbolism, and they're fine with that. Darkness doesn't care if you unpack their symbolism. It doesn't matter to them, because you're just in an echo chamber anyway of the same people that are listening to the same things. It's just, none of it's really worth talking about. And the things that are worth talking about, it seems like no one's talking about. Like the deepest, darkest inner pockets of your psyche. Like it's like, to me, that's worth talking about. All this other stuff, who cares? Who cares? Like, what's real for you? What's actually going on in your world? Where are you stuck? Where is it tangled? Where do you need to be untangled? That's the shit I'm here for. I could give two fucks about anything else. So I can see myself looking back on my life being like, Miriam, you should have let go of all that stupid stuff sooner. Not as a regret, but it feels like almost a moment right now to even do that. And just focus more on this, like my own life and what actually matters and what's going on for me and these stories, and if they can help people or not. It doesn't really even matter if they can help people. It's just having the courage to say what's real for me and to like not edit it and try to make it PC or try to like get it so people like me, or because there's definitely things that I talked about today that are polarizing if you're the wrong type of person. And I do that intentionally. I do that. I mean, it's intentional through my channel. Like, I know that that's like my way of being, is to be a bit polarizing and to weed out all the riffraff, because I can't have that in my life. I've had enough riffraff in my life. I've played enough characters. I've done the like people pleasing thing and the like fitting in thing and wanting people to like me, and you just become like a Frankenstein shell of the collective. You become a she, her, trans, Ukraine. You know, you become all of those symbols, and I'm not interested in that. And I do think like if people buy my pottery, like it's interesting, because art isn't really politicized. I mean, it can be, you know, if you're like a political cartoonist. I think of, what's his name? Bob Joe, I don't know, whatever his name is. But, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting. I imagine people would buy my pottery that don't align with any of my views. And that would be weird to me, honestly. But then it's also interesting to me because I have pots and pottery from people that I definitely don't align with what they're thinking. But it wouldn't stop me from their pieces, from enjoying their pieces and their art. But I think the other way around is a little, because I tend to present more conservative, I think. But I'm not even that. Yeah, it's interesting. It's funny too. I'm just going back to this, the Oliver guy that's sailing around the world. He said he's going to use his platform to speak out about politics, his opinions on, or his political views. And then people were like, no, please don't do that. Like, you're going to divide us, and like, you're going to lose half your audience. And I was like, oh, that's funny. And they're like, no, we all came together on something so good. Like, don't ruin it by telling us your politics. I'm like, oh, that's a weird take. Like, it's interesting. I don't even know where I'm going with this, but like, you follow someone for their art or for whatever it is about them that inspires you, or the connection, or there's like resonance there. But then if they say that they're this way or that way, then you're out. Like, that's how deeply programmed you are, that you can't connect with someone because they have a differing political view than you. Not even seeing or recognizing that all of politics is entirely made up to brainwash people. Like, you can't see that when you have your side and you stand in your side. But to admit that we've been brainwashed, like, the whole entire thing. I remember back during 2020, I had this friend that was like, oh my God, Miriam, like, all these people in Australia are like saying that Trump is really good and like he's a good guy. And she's like, it's so crazy because all I hear is how bad he is. And I was like, oh, that's funny that Australia was getting the positive Trump propaganda in 2020. The country that couldn't go anywhere or let anybody in. The prisoner island. Yeah, the brainwashing is just so real. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with my pottery, because I don't think I'll shy away from my stances, and but you'd have to really follow me as like a potter or like a person. You'd have to follow me as a person to really understand. And I don't think most people will. I think most people will see, oh, pretty pot, purchase. I don't think most people will want to get to know the hands that made the pot. I don't know if you can hear the rain, but it's like really peaceful. That's one thing I love about having the skylight, is listening to the rain pitter patter on the glass. It's so nice. At the coffee shop, I told the guy, I was like, gosh, so much rain, huh? And he's like, yeah. He's like, but I kind of love it. He's like, especially when it's light raining like this. I was like, I forget what I said. Oh, I didn't say anything at that point. And then he's like, cause I like to go for walks in it. And I was like, oh my God, yes, cause no one else is out. He's like, exactly. And then I put on, cause I said, cause the weather's all snuggly. That's what I said. And he like lit up. He's like, yes. He's like, and I love to go out for walks in it and put on my grandma sweater and my umbrella. And I was like, yes, and nobody else is out. And he's like, yeah, it's great. It was like actually a different conversation than what you normally get when people talk about the weather. It wasn't so scripted. It was like very much him. Like that's what he does. Puts on his granny sweater and goes out and walks in the rain with his umbrella. And then at the second window, the girl that gives you your coffee, she's like, oh my God, I love your raincoat. I was like, thanks. She's like, wow. And her eyes were so big. And then I feel like I did the same. I was like, thanks. So like made big eyes back. Do you want straws? Yeah. Please. That was cute. Okay, now I'm done. You've heard all my stories and all my happenings of the day. So now David doesn't have to listen to this because I already got it out of my system. So I don't need to tell him. I don't need to recap my day for him because I do that. He's like, you tell me everything that you did when I was sleeping. I'm like, well, I know because you missed it all. And I feel like you need to know. He doesn't need to know, but you do. You need to know for some reason. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.